It might come as something of a surprise to some of you that even though I've got all of these telephone clock radios, such as this, the GE2-9720A, I'm used to it starting with 7. And that, which is actually hooked up, the 7-4737A, and one more, which I actually just realized doesn't even have a video yet. This is the one I've had the longest. 7-4712B, which looks pretty similar to the 4624. Can you tell I have too many of these things? But the more noise on New Year's, the better. So I have definitely picked up yet another one. This one is a 7-4700 FM AM clock radio telephone, which you can see is obviously the case. We have a handset here, is built in. Just like the 2-9720, the handset's on the side, whereas on the other two, the handset's on the back. I don't really know which design I like more. I don't really suppose it matters much, as long as the handset's there. We'll get into the controls here in a minute, but I'll let you ponder how these work. It's pretty similar to this one over here. It does have some problems. The most glaringly obvious one is right here. Some hoser has made off with my tuner knob. Didn't see it in the thrift store. I picked it up at a Salvation Army for $6, but I did not see the tuner knob. I didn't even look for it, which is probably why I didn't see it, because I didn't notice that it was missing until after I brought it home, and I wasn't about to take it back and do all of that. That would have just been a mess, so... And it's a nice piece, nonetheless. I've gone ahead and expertly tuned it to a station with a pair of pliers, and I'm intent to just leave it there, because if I really want to tune to another station, I've got other radios that I can use. Quite a fair few of them, actually. But there's your volume knob. Band switch. On the back is a knob that is labeled brightness. We'll get into that once I power it up. The handset plugs in here, and it is removable. Also on the handset here, there's the handset model. That's your typical touch tone unit. There's no support for pulse dialing. Hook switches there. It's got a ringer control. And a mute switch on the side, as well as a place to store a favorite phone number, to write it down. Overall, pretty similar to other GE telephone clock radios. I tell you what, they were really giving away the phone cord at the GE factory when they made these. Check out all of that. I don't know, did they expect you to hook this up to the central switching station? That is a lot of phone cord. Here's the power cord, which also doubles as an FM antenna. On the bottom, if we go ahead and have a look, I'll take the handset off so it's easier to flip this around. Oh, that is upside down. You can see, other than that, which is just this, but in French, there is no French on this unit at all. Which makes me wonder where it was actually built. The exact model number is 7-4700B. So this would be the second production run of these. It's got an FCC ID on it, made in Singapore. So perhaps this was actually a US model, considering the FCC ID is there. I don't know, do these actually have FCC IDs on them? This one might not be a good example, but no, this one does not. So take from that what you may. There's our CSA certification for a radio. Unfortunately, this really doesn't mean a whole lot to me because it's just got a 3 for the date code. So I don't know, was it made in 1983? 1993? I don't know, but it's there. Communications Canada sticker. It does have a little bit of dirt and grime all over it. It came to me with a battery. I don't remember what the battery was, and I certainly misplaced it. It was dead, so shouldn't have really kept it. But I've got a habit of keeping all the older batteries, because it's interesting to look back at what batteries used to look like, you know? I don't know, it's just another one of my really weird interests. There's a vent there, presumably for the transformer. Actually, maybe not. I don't know what's behind that. Maybe it is the transformer. But anyway, so we'll bring this back up. Handset back in place, and we'll go ahead and plug it in. So we'll take our power plug here, plug it into a handy outlet, and show you what it does when we first turn it on. If it doesn't retain any settings from previously. Here we go. So it is on. You may or may not be able to see the display. If I turn the light off, it's probably going to go crazy with the autofocus. But it flashes set time over here, as well as the display, like most other alarm clocks do. So we can go ahead and set the time. You get forward, and of course reverse. And fast. But the fast does not work like it usually does on these, where it's just one direction and it's usually forward. So right now I'll push it and it's forward. But if I push the reverse key and then push fast, it goes fast in reverse. Which is pretty cool. If you set the display key, push the display key, I should say, you get to your wake set mode, which is pretty similar. Nothing really there. And when you push display again, you go back to normal mode where you can't change any settings. I think that might actually be the snooze for the alarm. You get a sleep timer. You can change it to whatever you want, pretty much. That might even be for the sleep timer. Oops. I just pushed the snooze button. So yeah, that's what that was for. That was for snooze. So, well, there you go. The more you know. As far as the wake stuff goes, most of these things... Oh, this isn't really a good example, but a lot of these things allow you to wake to radio or wake to buzzer. Or you get ones that allow you to wake to radio or wake to radio and buzzer at the same time. But it's very rare where you find one like this, which allows you to have both kinds at your choosing. You can wake to both. You can wake to just the alarm, or you can wake to just music. That'd be a really nice thing to have on a clock radio. Anyway, because it's expertly tuned, I'll show you the other problem with this when I go ahead and turn the radio on, other than the very scratchy volume control. Which you can see has caused my radio to turn off. It's coming in, sort of. Here we go. I wonder what it's doing. I don't really know what it's doing. Well, whatever. You get an idea as to what it sounds like. I think that's probably about a 3-inch speaker there. So, the problem is that the radio station I'm tuned to is actually all the way down there. This is broken, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'll show you the other feature that this thing has before I set the alarm off. If I go ahead and turn the radio on, come on. And I lift up the handset, it mutes, and the dial indicator turns red. Which I think is fairly cool. So I went ahead and set the alarm. It should go off in a second and probably scare the crap out of me. Alright, so I think the actual issue is with that control there, and that's why it sounds kind of strange. But, anyway, there is your General Electric 7-4700B FM AM clock radio telephone. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then. But there is one more thing. I realize that I forgot to show this. So there's our display. Remember that knob marked brightness on the back? Yeah. Usually, alarm clocks let you choose between two settings, high and low. This one is pretty variable. In fact, I'd make the argument that it is infinitely variable. From all the way up, like this, to all the way down, like that. I believe is off. I certainly don't see it. The display does seem a little dim. It's possibly because it's kind of dirty. Could probably do well from a cleaning.